There we go. I can hear myself now. Okay, never done this before. Well, I guess that's the gavel that I've never pounded it. So anyway, here we meet. We have the meeting of the Davenport Housing Commission. Actually, I think we have two to cover since we've all been affected by some inclement weather the last couple of months. So we'll start with roll call. Joyce Miller. Here. Gary Susich. Here. Yolanda Roberts.
Here.
And myself, Matt Wissing. So we have an agenda, or have a quorum. Now we'll move on to the agenda. We'll start with the minutes of the December meeting and ask if anyone has any questions, corrections, or anything they'd like to talk about.
I don't. I make a motion to approve the minutes for December. Second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the December meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that passes. Now we'll move on to the financial reports for December and January. I guess I'll ask a question at Destiny, not so much the report, but I know the city just recently had their budget hearings and stuff. Has the proposed budget for public housing, is that pretty much status quo for the coming year?
So for public housing, they're looking to sell. So
Right.
There wouldn't be a public housing or heritage budget once we sell. All we'll have is Section 8. And that stays pretty steady. Of course.
But until that time when things are finalized, or are they expecting it to be final before the next fiscal year starts?
Yeah, I mean, they've made it, the budget is final based on predictions of when they think it'll sell. So, they believe that it'll all be sold within the fiscal year of 2022. So everything will remain constant as it has been until that time. And then there will be some staffing reduction, which is going down to the Section 8 program. So you'll see some reductions once it's just the Section 8 program.
Any idea yet if some of the people who are going to be affected might be able to laterally transfer into other city?
I believe everybody is able to move except for myself.
Okay. Will you stay overseeing the Section 8 or?
No, there will no longer be a management position. It'll be absorbed within their current employees.
Gotcha. Okay.
As far as the financial statements for the month of December, you're looking at, roughly half of the fiscal year is complete at this time. So just something to keep in mind. Of course, we pay a lot of our insurances and stuff
Right.
full, but everything else should be right around the 50% mark. Nothing really stands out to make mention of unless you guys have any questions on anything.
Okay. Do we have to do these separate, vote on each separate?
Yes, please.
Okay, that was my guess, but that's why I asked. Okay, if there's no questions or comments or about the December financial report, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the December financials.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports for the month of December. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now on to January. See if there's any questions on those. It looks, to me, pretty steady.
Maintenance from December to January. Was that just working on some rehabs? I see there's a difference.
Are you
Yes.
looking at the heritage?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so it stayed pretty steady from 21, it looks like December was 21,000 and January is 20,000. Are you just asking what the maintenance is for?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's our rehab line. So could be rehabs, cleaning, custodial type stuff as well. Anything that we need maintenance for is in that line item.
Okay.
I guess that gets me thinking, that's mostly done by Public Works Department, is that correct?
Correct.
Are those people just gonna get directed doing other types of work, or will they be displaced, or?
I have not heard on the status of what's going to happen with them.
Do you know how many people that is by chance?
I believe we're budgeted for one full-time maintenance person and I believe a half-time custodial possibly, I think is how it works. That I don't maintain their budget, so I don't see
Right.
it regularly or look at it.
Okay. If I had a question, I could direct it towards Nicole.
Yeah,
Lisa.
correct.
So, okay. If there's no other questions or comments on the January financial report, I'll ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the financials for January.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports for the month of January. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that passes. Now we'll move on to the occupancy report for,
So we still have the one vacancy in public housing that Lindsay is looking to fill. She's actually working with somebody right now. We require that they have their utilities paid so they can get utilities in their name. So she's working with some agencies to get that fulfilled right now. So that should, by next month, that should be filled.
How many bedrooms is that?
A 3-bedroom. And then we have quite a few vacancies at the Heritage. A lot of people passing away. We had 2 people that were terminated for lease violations, and 1 person moved out with a family. So that's where the numbers are coming there for the Heritage. And then as you can see, our Section 8 numbers are dropping. So we will probably be pulling from our waiting list here pretty soon. Within the next month or 2, I would think we may be pulling. And that'll be a slow process. You know, we might pull 10 people and see where it takes us and go from there.
Those lease violations, what were they, do you remember?
The one person, let me try and remember. I just wrote down apartment numbers, so I didn't write down names. I honestly don't remember for sure what either one of these were terminated for. I just wrote down terminated. I believe the one was unpaid rent, and he moved out without any issues. I gave him a lease violation for not paying rent, and he just moved out by the end of the month. The other one was a gentleman that was causing disturbances in the building, and had several lease violations for that. And we ended up having to go through eviction with him.
Guess that brings me a question, when the heritage gets turned over to a private company, I'm assuming that, people won't be, well, I guess that will be a private thing, so we won't have the outside attorney as a hearing officer anymore.
Correct. They'll have their own, I mean, they have to follow the same lease, and it'll be the same, HUD program and everything, but they'll have their own person that they seek out, or how they handle those.
Uh-huh. Will it have to be done through a nonpartisan arbiter?
It would have to be done, I don't know, honestly, because I think the city itself has some rules on how we have to handle it. So I don't necessarily believe it has to go through an administrative law judge like we do it. But they would have to have some other, another party doing it for them.
Okay. Does Ann McAtee still do that?
Mhm.
Just haven't seen her in a long time. So.
We haven't had to use her for a while, yeah. Fortunately, we haven't had many terminations that have had to use her.
Then again, there's a lot of people I don't see anymore.
Right.
Because of COVID things. So. Okay. Well, we looked at January. I think February. Yeah, February is the same thing, isn't it? The same.
Yeah, there's not much change between the two. I just kind of talked based on both of them, but you can still see that our numbers are going down for Section 8. We added one additional heritage vacancy, and the public housing one was the same.
Okay. Well, I guess we do these separately too. So I'll ask, if there's no other questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion to approve the occupancy report for.
I do have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
So that public housing place that's available, you said it's a 3-bedroom?
Correct.
So the person that qualifies for that, they would have to have a boy and a girl, or no? Can you refresh my memory on what the qualifications are for someone to get that because of the 2 heartbeats, same sex? And
So public housing is different than Section 8, so we don't do
Okay.
the 2 heartbeats for public housing. Public housing is based off the age and sex of the child.
Okay.
So it could be, 1 or 2 parents. I don't know the makeup of this person that's coming on the program, but to qualify for a 3-bedroom, basically, you could have 2 children of the same sex under the age of 5 share a bedroom, but once they're over the age of 5, then they each get their own bedroom if they're opposite sex under 5 can share a bedroom. Once they're over 5, then they get their own bedroom if they're opposite sex. So they would
I
have to
understand.
qualify for a 3-bedroom based on the makeup of their family.
Right, okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Again, if there's no other questions on the occupancy for January, I'll ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the occupancy report for January.
Great. Been moved and seconded to approve the occupancy report. Actually, I think our agenda here says December and January.
Yeah, it does.
It does. So for approving, it's been moved and seconded to approve the occupancy report for the month of January. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Hearing none. That passes. Now on to February. And if there's No questions there. I'll ask for an approval to approve the occupancy report for the month of February 2021.
Make a motion to accept the occupancy report for February.
Great. Been moved and seconded to approve the occupancy report for the month of February. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that passes. Now we'll go on to the resolution 2021-01.
So the last time we met, we discussed the foster youth to independence vouchers, and we approved adding those to our program. So this first resolution is, we found out that they have to be on our waiting list. So the first resolution here is to be able to amend our admin plan to add a preference for them to be on our waiting list, where they would be moved to the very top of our waiting list, because basically they come directly to us with a FYI voucher. But like I said, since they amended the program to where they have to be on our waiting list, we're asking that they have a preference of their own to be at the top of the waiting list, so that we can give them their voucher right away.
I guess the only question I have, Destiny, is, are the local social service agencies who work with foster youth and Department of Human Services, are they aware of this so they can have their potential applicants get on?
Yeah, we have 6 people waiting to be on to get their voucher. Yep, they've already sent us all the information. We just had to wait to amend our admin plan to accept them.
Gotcha. Okay, so everybody's up and aware and.
Yeah, yep, we have everything ready to go. We just, like I said, we found out when we went to submit the application for those 6 people that we had to have them on our waiting list. And that's kind of where the brakes halted again, and we had to wait for our meeting here.
Okay. Well, I guess for those in the general public who might be anxiously watching us here, I'll read this just so they know what this is in case they have any questions. And Resolution 2021-01 is a resolution supporting amendment to admissions and continued occupancy policy, ACOP as an acronym, to add a waiting list preference for the foster youth to independence vouchers. Whereas the Office of Assisted Housing administers the Housing Choice Voucher Program and provides subsidized housing for individuals and families in Davenport, Iowa. And whereas the Office of Assisted Housing must operate these programs in accordance with the regulations from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And whereas the Davenport Housing Commission provides oversight for the implementation of new policies and the administrative actions of the Office of Assisted Housing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Davenport Housing Commission members support the amendment to the admissions and continued occupancy policy to add a waiting list preference for the Foster Youth to Independence Voucher Program in Davenport, Iowa, administered by the Office of Assisted Housing with an effective date of February 22nd, 2021, adopted this 22nd day of February 2021. I'll ask for a motion to approve this resolution.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-01.
Second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution 2021-01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that passes. Now we will move on to resolution 2021-02.
So this one is related to the same thing, but I have to get approval to actually open the waiting list for these individual vouchers. So the first one was amending our ACOP to add that. And then the second one here is to actually open our waiting list just for those individuals that qualify for the foster youth to independence voucher.
Great. Well, not that I like listening to myself, but I'll read this since it's for the general public. Resolution 2021-02, resolution supporting acceptance of foster youth to independence applications for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Whereas the Office of Assisted Housing administers the Housing Choice Voucher Program and provides housing assistance for families in Davenport, Iowa, and whereas the Office of Assisted Housing maintains a waiting list of applications from eligible persons or families for this program in accordance with the regulations from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and whereas the Office of Assisted Housing is requesting permission to accept new applications and qualify for the Foster Youth to Independence Program, and whereas the Davenport Housing Commission provides oversight for the administrative actions of the Office of Assisted Housing, now therefore be it resolved that the Davenport Housing Commission supports the decision of the Office of Assisted Housing to open the Housing Choice Voucher Program waiting list to new applications that qualify for the Foster Youth to Independence Program adopted this day, the 22nd of February, 2021. I'll ask for a motion to approve this resolution.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2021-02.
Second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution 2021-02. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that passes. Now we'll move on to discussion. I guess I wanted to ask Destiny, it's been kind of hard in the last 2 months to not see in the media some of the stories about the heritage and alleged malfeasance down there well, I guess having to do with maintenance and racial epitaphs and spreading of COVID and various other things. And I just wondered, I don't know any more than what I've read or heard in the media.
Right. Yeah, so we do have one gentleman that has had another tenant verbally harassing him, calling him, something but not very nice. He brought it to our attention and the office gave us a written complaint. We proceeded with what we needed to do administratively, and he filed a police report as well against the tenant. It's kind of gone from there. He said now that there's been some other issues going on by his apartment. He's not sure who's doing it, but we're taking action on that now as well.
But that's been going on for quite some time,
What's that?
his complaints.
Yeah, his complaint was originally against the previous manager that happened a few years ago. That was already handled by the Civil Rights Commission on that issue, which I think was possibly 3 years ago now that one went, that came about. This is a new complaint that came about since this other tenant in the building was harassing him. And now he is alleging that, I don't know if his alleges his staff harassing him, other tenants in the building harassing him.
Staff meaning your staff?
Correct.
Okay.
That's what he alleges, yes.
So is there an investigation into that?
Yeah, we've already been contacted by other departments that are looking into it. Our city staff is all aware of it and have been meeting on how to handle the situation and doing their own investigation as well. As far as the laundry room, he made a comment that it was, I forget how he worded it. that something happened in the laundry room. And there were feces all over. There was an incident where there were feces in the laundry room. It just happened. Somebody must have done laundry and had something in there, and it was cleaned up. Oh, I think he said that our laundry room was vandalized with feces. That did not happen. We did have somebody do laundry, and there were feces left in the one unit that has been cleaned up. But there was never any vandalizing that went on in the room at all. The COVID outbreak, again, COVID has been an outbreak everywhere. We do have tenants in the building that have had it. We've had, I believe, one, maybe two staff that have had it. One person didn't even know they had it until after the fact. One person was quarantined for the 10 days, 10, 14 days, whatever they required. But otherwise, I guess I wouldn't call it an outbreak by any means. If tenants let us know about it, then, we can take precautions as possible, but they don't usually come to us and tell us. The only time we actually found out that tenants had it was when they passed away from it, and that's when we were notified that they had COVID. So I wouldn't consider it an outbreak by any means. I believe that's what he's alleging. But again, nobody tells us about them having COVID until they're in the hospital, and things are really bad.
Is there cameras? Isn't there cameras in the facility?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
was there a camera in the laundry room where this incident happened?
Yeah, like I said, when he reported that it was being vandalized, it was long after we could have looked back at the cameras. Our cameras only last, depends on how much activity's in there, but sometimes it's less than a month that we can record stuff on our cameras. When he brought this issue to hand, it had already passed the camera time. But we know of the incident because we had to have the unit cleaned out. But there was no vandalizing that took place in the room at all.
You said the unit cleaned out.
The laundry unit, the washer.
Oh, okay.
With the COVID pandemic still going on, is the maintenance department doing any special type of cleaning? Do they have those spray units that they might disinfect hallways and door handles and elevators?
Yeah, we do have the sprayer. I don't know how often he goes around and does it, but I do know that they have that equipment. How often they're doing it, I don't know for sure.
Uh-huh.
Is there separate funding do you have COVID funding?
There is COVID funding.
Okay, so being that the heritage is, mainly consist of older people, wouldn't there be like a routine?
Again, that's a different department than I am part of, so I don't staff them to tell them how often to do it or give them any protocols on that. That would be something that would be through the facilities maintenance department, and I don't know what they're told to do.
That's part of Public Works also?
Correct, yeah. So I don't know how often they're told to go through the building and sanitize. We did put extra, the hand sanitizer, little, I don't know what they're called, dispensers, yeah. We did put a couple of those up, just when you walk in the front of the building in our office, or in our area, our lobby, and when you walk into the actual building. So we did our part there to try and encourage that. We don't allow any gatherings. We require face masks in all common areas. We haven't been meeting, we were doing tenant meetings twice a month, or twice a year. We have not done that with the COVID. We took all the tables and chairs out of our community room so that there wouldn't be any gatherings. So
People don't go in there to watch TV anymore?
Individuals do, but not any gatherings. They would get together for like Super Bowl parties and stuff periodically, or just once a year for Super Bowl, but other big things like that, they would be a group of people, and obviously that's not going on anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, who won the Super Bowl this year, Destiny? You probably didn't watch.
I did watch
Or
it.
ask
Well,
your boys.
I watched the first half anyways.
Okay.
The refs.
All right, just teasing you. The other thing really isn't a question, it's just something I saw in the media recently having to do with a proposal in the Iowa legislature restricting Section 8 usage in the state. I think it's a terrible thing myself. They're doing a lot of other things that I think are bad. And if I wasn't at this meeting, I'd be on my way to Des Moines for a public hearing they're having tonight to do with suppressing voting, which I think will have an adverse effect on a lot of the people we serve who don't get out and about to vote, but like to absentee vote. But anyway, and I guess the other thing is they used to have for over 50 years a nonpartisan community forum of local legislators, but the majority party is seen to it that they not attend anymore because they say their people aren't attending, which I think means anybody that has a question of them or may disagree with some of the things that they are proposing. So
Yes.
people can still contact them individually, which I do on a regular basis.
Yes,
So
yes.
just wanted to put that out there on my own accord. So anyway, I guess we'll look ahead to next month and when our meeting,
I have not looked
we
at.
still need them.
We'll be back to the third Monday now that our holidays are over. So it looks like the 15th of March will be our next one.
The Ides of March, if you remember from Shakespeare, beware the Ides of March. So let's hope.
Julius Caesar.
Remember I had a health issue on that date a few years back, so I remember it well. Anyway, okay,
I know.
March 15th.
I don't know if anybody
Oh,
from,
I saw Bruce come in to see if he, well, we're still here. Bruce, you're not late. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I was kind of filibustering there, but yes, you're perfectly, I'm not used to seeing anybody out there, but I did see someone. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Gwen Tombergs. I'm the executive director of a brand new nonprofit that we are starting. Some of you may remember Rejuvenate Davenport from years ago. Some of the guys from Rejuvenate Davenport have started a new nonprofit called Rejuvenate Housing. And the intent and mission is to start with Central City, Davenport, if you know where Ed Winborn lives, on 14th Street. And try
Yeah.
to, the goal is to rehab the single houses and create single housing for families that are low to moderate income. And so we are currently working with Prestige Bank and Trust on one of the community programs that the banks have. But, you know, the goal is to start with Central Davenport, especially on 14th, 13th, that neighborhood, to figure out if we need to rehab some of those properties. Maybe they are past rehabbing and they need to come down and build new. There's some empty lots that we're going to be working with. But I just wanted to introduce myself and say hello. Hey, for those of you who know Don Decker, Kurt Beeson, Gene Meeker, and Ed Winborn and Steve Spring are our original 5 board members, and then we just recently added Dan Dolan and Tim Hughes. So we are up and running and focusing on single-family wellness. So just want to say
That's
hi,
nice.
and hopefully you'll be seeing me more.
that's great,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Gwen, is that the only area or is there a bigger area you're looking at or?
You know, it's not that we're going to limit ourselves. We just needed a focus right now. And Ed living on 14th Street, rehabbing some of the houses right around himself, we decided just to start there. And, you know, I've been going to the housing cluster meetings. It's interesting. My very first meeting, they already asked if we could go to Illinois. I was like, whoa, let's start one project. And, so no, it's not gonna be restricted by any means. I think that, these guys, their heart is in Davenport, and, that's a big starting place. And then depending how fast we can turn properties and get low to moderate income families in them, we will hopefully gain some momentum and do several houses at a time.
How are you going to, I'm right here. Sorry. How are you going to advertise or reach out to those people once the rehab has been completed to get renters? And
So our goal is to rehab, to gain access and rehab the properties, and then put together a nonprofits committee who will determine what families fit the criteria. So we don't really want to be the ones who choose them, but there will be, and again, this is so new, we're putting that still together. But it's going to be very familiar, like a habitat where there needs to be some sweat equity. They need to live there 5 years. They need to go through a finance seminar or training about how to be a homeowner. There'll be some caveats like that, but quite honestly, the housing cluster already has the experts and knows the families that are needing to transition out of rental into home ownership. And so I don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
We'll work very closely with them to determine who qualifies.
Good.
Good.
It's a good thing.
So welcome, and thank you very much, and hopefully, like I said,
Thank you very
happy
much.
success stories.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Gwen. And Bruce, did you have any? Okay. Just down for a stretch
hanging
from
out.
upstairs?
Break time.
Okay. Well, if nobody else has anything, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, well, go ahead, Destiny. Sure, no.
And a second on the motion, sorry.
Oh,
I got the.
everybody's thinking you're saying, I need a second. Hold
Oh,
on a
I'm
minute.
sorry, I needed a second on the motion.
Oh, okay.
Can we get a second on the motion to adjourn?
I guess I'm
We
not the
we
only
jumped a
one-
step.
I'm not the only one who thought that, so. Okay, is there a second on the motion to adjourn?
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.